Sat Sri Akal, very warm good evening, Namaskar, Adab, Jai Shri Krishna and Jambu Sana to another one of my health shows, running this every Monday at 9:40 p.m. for the community well-being. Folks, your health is your wealth. If we do not look after our health, we could then be grieving to say, I wish I had done it before. But never ignore it, because there is always, as the saying goes, a stitch in time saves nine. When we leave things to the lastminute.com, that's when the body then has to be totally dependent on allopathic drugs or painkillers or antibiotics, which can be a savior. There is no doubt about that. Let me take you to a journey today, and we'll be talking about one of the most complex human organs. And you'll probably start guessing, and I'll bet you'll be wrong in every guess. Is it the heart, the liver, the kidneys, the colon, the pancreas, the eyes, the brain? Yes, the brain is very complex, but so much more complexity than all of these organs. And one of the largest organs in the human body is the skin, the human skin. Every skin has a color tone, and there's a melanin layer that gives us a color. If it's a mixed breed blood, that will give us the child a different color. But here on the question I'm taking you, and the journey I'm taking you today on, is what is happening beneath the layers of this such a complex organ that is shedding over 1.78 pounds a year, and every year of your living life we are shedding skin. So complex is this organ that there are 7 layers, and under those 7 layers there is a lot that has to be fed. There has a lot that has to come out to the upper layer of the skin, and that is the final upper layer of the skin that we seem to diagnose or assess a person. We assess a person by, first of all, look out for what car he has, whether he has a big house, whether he's wearing a designer watch, or whether he has the latest iPhone or a phone, and whether he has got some designer clothes. And look at the shoes, that seems to be playing a lot. And for women, it has to be a bag of about 500 pounds to 1500 pounds or 5,000 pounds, jokes aside. I'm very happy with a bag that's about 7 pounds 50 and not more than 10 pounds. That will give me many years of service. Your choice. Your choice also of your well-being and your health. That is your choice. I'm here today just to dissect symptoms and conditions that are costing you and also the NHS when you keep repeating your treatments about this one organ called the skin. But what is happening under the skin, and what we see first when we approach a person is the smile, whether the person is resonating good aura, whether their teeth are clean, and probably the third or the fourth one in line would be the skin. That's the first thing the fourth thing we look at. And it is that thing that can either boost your confidence, drop your confidence, or make you hide, and you have a very low self-esteem. All these things do not happen when a child is born, and the first thing we look at is how beautiful a kid's skin is, and the baby has got butter, soft skin like cocoa butter, and really blemish free, unless a child is born with a skin condition of eczema or psoriasis or dry skin or scaly scalp, or just hives, or probably some allergy because the mother had thrush. Also talking about thrush in most of my programs. So niche hate likhe number 07-886-880591 te. Only call the day after the show. So Monday is the show. We'll welcome calls on Tuesday, but definitely not on Monday. Please, raat de time, raat de 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, and 1 o'clock even calls, just random. Are these people drunk? We don't entertain the calls unless there's a patient under treatment. So please do respect my space and time. A time khas kar I had a battle to get this time that I can actually resonate with youngsters of 3rd and 4th generation when you're at home and you're back from work, and what I can assist you with this information, everything from diabetes, cholesterol, blood pressure, weight, obesity, depression. We've discussed so much, and alongside that was one of my biggest dreams or was how do I keep talking about foods, but is there something good out there really to educate apni community? And I then decided to launch the cook shows, which are run every Saturday at 11:30 and every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. So 11:30 a.m. on a Saturday, when you mothers and young daughters and sons are at home, this show is just not for women. Worldwide fact known that men seem to be the more chefs in the world than women, but this is mass cooking. Yet women at home need to cook for the families and the taste of the family. The same thing, you go to the restaurant, they give you a menu, you choose from that. In the house, you try to eat what your mother cooks. In the time that the child is born, the mother does her best to bring her child up, and upbringing of good food, nutrition, taking the child on to semi-solid food and then to solid food. Where do things seriously go wrong, folks, is jadon bache start going to birthday parties, and there are some sensible mothers who probably do not put the black drink and fizzy drinks and tartazine colorants and oven baked foods and lots of sugar, lots of pastries, lots of cakes out for the children. We seem to be drowning our children with one of the biggest poisons on earth right now, which is sugar. And there was a huge problem with sugar, and that came on the television. I'm shocked and I'm quite horrified that I did a show last week on sleep, and my slogan was, "You're not alone." And only on Friday, was it Thursday, on national television in morning, they started the same slogan talking about, you are not alone. The whole of Britain and half of Britain is deprived of good sleep. And I had a broad smile on my face and I said, are these guys listening to a Carl Channel health show or what? Why is it every time I do a show, jokes aside, it seems to be an issue on the national news 1 to 2 weeks later? Fact. Talk about sugar, the taxation came in. Talk about diabetes, that came in. Obesity came in. Depression came in. Grooming came in on national news. And I was shocked about that, talking about sleep, that you are not alone. And that was the same slogan I used. So, Sarianu, welcome. And I think we are ahead. Being a Carl Channel, we are ahead with the community health. But is the community listening to my show? Are you adhering to these free information? The rest of the choice that you have to make with me is when you come and have a consultation with me, and we assess you and then give you the right products, jede ke Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, juice, and then diet is structurally made, which you need to run with me or email me, and then I create your diet for you. So all these things actually create a balance. No one thing can work, and what one thing will work for you will not work for many others. So your blueprint is different from everybody else. So welcome to the show. So while the mother is nurturing her children, is she doing things right? Or have the children started making their own decision of bad food, less water, more drinks, less sleep, bad fats, fried foods, oven foods? Or is the mother too busy to make healthy choices for her children? In the cook shows, we have created burgers, we have created veg burgers, we have created falafels. I'll be taking you to, it's the Gujarati theme right now, and I'll be taking you to summer foods, which I will be talking about when the weather is warm. What kind of home indoor barbecue foods can we have? Do note, everything is vegetarian. So email ID have manjeetkaur51@yahoo.co.uk. Sorry, manjeetkaur51@yahoo.co.uk. I beg your pardon. Pinya, there are now 10 different formulas launched, right from fibromyalgia to blood pressure, cholesterol, skin, constipation, brain food, super brain food, weight loss, and bowel problems. So many new exciting formulas are coming up, but this is nothing that I did last 5 years ago on a channel. Right with the Carl Channel right now, I have modified all these things with so many other herbs and ingredients in pinya. It is nothing of what you saw. So let's move forward. Skin being, as I told you, one of the most complex organs, and it is the one that people suffer in puberty, right from the age of 13 to probably even 18 or longer. Some people have no issues from 12 to 18. It's when they go to university, they end up having skin issues and blemishes and acne. And one out of maybe 6 children, maybe 2 will have an acne condition. Everybody else is clear. My mother used to say, if you had in some sort of drug, heavy metals play a big part, and so does lack of hydration in the skin. I now have a caller on air. Let me take my caller on air and check what they have to say, and we'll come back to skin and acne. Hello caller, a very good evening to you. It's you are live into my health show talking about acne and skin care.
Hello.
Hello, Sat Sri Akal.
Hello.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to put forward a testimonial. So I began to suffer from acne about 6 years ago, and this was after having my face waxed a few times, which I personally felt led triggered to the breakouts and gradually got worse over a period of time. I was then introduced to a deep cleansing facial and a peel, which also included extractions of the face.
Yes.
Now, with these facials, I found that they did help reduce the amount of breakouts I was getting. However, they didn't seem to give me the long-term results that I was looking for. It didn't bring back life into my skin, which affected my confidence. And as a result, I still found myself having to wear makeup just to hide the imperfections. I then came to you to try out the skincare program that you offer, and I've had about 8 sessions now.
Yes.
And the results have been brilliant right from the very first session. You know, I could see a massive difference in my skin each time.
Yes.
And what I really like about these facials is that they're tailored to your individual skin type.
Yes.
So for me personally, my goal was to clean my skin through each layer and get rid of the breakouts. And just going back to the point where I mentioned about the facials being bespoke, as part of my consultation, you mentioned that my forehead complexion was relatively darker than the rest of my face. And this wasn't really something I've ever really taken notice of, so I'm pleased that you highlighted it and it was treated as part of the facial. And just overall, I'm amazed by how effective these 8 facials have been in comparison to the dozens I've had prior coming to you. And this has just led me to feel so comfortable and confident about my skin that I don't really include makeup in my daily routine anymore.
So nice to know. Really nice to know. And were you happy with the fact that there was so much under the bed of the skin, and we exfoliated that very gently with my own programs of the facial spa treatment, using gentle peels of not aggressive peels that you had. And each time we were increasing the time of the peel and then feeding your skin. I just didn't leave you with a treatment and send you home. What I worked was nutritionally as well. And I fed your skin from under the surface through diet, nutrition, juicing and capsulation, and also applying special formulations of creams and oils. Did you find that whole nutshell of the skincare better than all these high, very toxic chemicals that they put in creams, which are sold for all patients, with the condition?
Yeah, I found that the combination between, as you just mentioned, the nutrition, diet, and the supplements that I was taking, both helped. And just in general, when it comes to your skincare routine, it is really easy to get confused when you're surrounded by products of so many different kinds that don't always seem to work.
Yeah, so well said. Very well said. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really nice to come to you and for you to talk through what is needed and just to tailorize all of that to my skin.
Yeah. And how did you find my appointment booking and the whole way of actually making an appointment and coming to see me, and the reminders we send you? Do you find them helpful?
Yeah, it's really easy. If as long as you pre-book in advance and arrive on time.
Yes.
And what was also important to me was that to have a facial when it was recommended. So booking in advance allowed me to do so, and the reminders also beforehand. helps as well.
Yeah. So I'm so glad that you have reaped rewards from the skin program that was troubling you so much. And there was so much under the base of the skin that we had to bring out. And but at the same time, I never left you crisp and dry. Is what I had a patient who came to me who had spent £4,500 and now has seen me, and I saw her only after 1 week, caller, and she was just glowing so much, and her whole aura of her face, sweetheart, had changed. She was confident, blossoming, and she just looked like we had taken off 6 layers of darkened skin, and she had just lightened so fast. And that was only after 1 week, Saturday to Saturday.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And now she wants to sell all the products she has bought. Very expensive, which are numbering. Some of these creams are £150, £90. She wants to sell them on some sort of online site. I said, oh, bless, whoever will buy this will probably also have critical symptoms of such toxic chemicals. But as you'll appreciate, I don't believe in toxic, and everything that I gave you in Ayurveda and on nutritional, we fed from the outside and the inside, and you reap the rewards. I'm so happy that you're happy, and I hope that for many, many years you'll keep on looking after your skin in such a gentle, fine way. It does not need so many chemicals as people are buying. They'll buy a tube, use 1/3 of it and keep it because it hasn't worked, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and it's not about the price. It doesn't mean that if a product is, the most expensive out the range that it's going to work. It's not necessarily
I want to run
the case.
with you a figure you'll show. If you're sitting, you better stay sitting. A woman in her lifespan spends over £140,000 for the skin program that she's suffering from.
Gosh.
Men spend £35 a month on their grooming and their skin blemishes. So we're not saying just women. Men seem to be quite also. It seems to be something that is quite... we go out in public and people look at that, and it can put people off if somebody has got lots of acne and pimples, and people set back a bit, isn't it? So we seem to look at people on the cosmetic level also, and maybe at work they could be one of the most intelligent member of the company, but this kind of things of appearance seem to be playing a big part in our lifestyle these days, is it not?
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Let me thank you so much and have a very fine evening. Thank you so much, darling, for your feedback. And I'm so happy you're happy. I'm so happy that the journeys you made for, over an hour and a half drive have been very fruitful with the support of your lovely mother as well, feeding, nutrition, juicing for you. Stay healthy and keep looking after your skin, but don't go out for harsh products. And you've already achieved your results. Congratulations and thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
God bless you, Sastikal. Have a very fine evening. So that was a testimonial of a patient, and the patient who came to me last Saturday, I saw her yesterday, on this Saturday, a week later, and it was quite amazing to see the aura had changed, and she was so dull, dried, chapped, blemished, and that was just a week later. So all these things, people seem to spend so much. So I ran a figure with my dear caller, was that in a lifespan, with a woman suffering from skin issues, spends £140,000 just for skincare products, which they tend to use a bit, keep it because it didn't work, but they see something very exciting and quite exaggerated on television at peak time, they'll rush and buy that, or because somebody had it and they have actually recommended it. Recommendations really for skincare, as this caller called so kindly, was tailor-made. You go to a tailor and buy a shirt or get a shirt designed. He's just not going to say, oh, you're a chest, I think you're a chest 42 and height of your arm is 38. You'd probably say, could you please measure me because I want a correct size. Hence, skin is so complex. As before the caller called, we were talking about issues that heavy metals can be an issue. Obviously, lack of skin nutrition and skin food. I'm talking about raw food, I'm talking about skin food, I'm talking about the skin food, oils that I make. Let me tell you something that you'll be shocked to know. The skin should never be washed with water. It is waterproof. We need to be washing our skin with warm hot oil and then cleanse it off with the right toners and then hydrate it back again. The skin needs oil from the outside, the skin needs oil from the inside. This could be quite enlightening information for you for this evening. Blood toxins can make the skin very unhealthy. Funguses, I look at thrush on the tongue has serious problems with girls, boys, men's. Thrush is a big issue, and so many cracked tongues jina de upar cracks hagene, or layers of yellow funguses all coming out from the stomach, rushing out because of the bad fats. Yeast allergies, yeast infections, and blood flukes, parasites, literally parasites in the blood can make your skin very unhealthy. So you're probably saying, God mighty, is this so complex? Certainly is. And this is why I was challenging you to say, did any one of you get a right guess of what is the most complex organ of the body? Was skin. This is a program I'm running with you. Jina ne hune tune in kita sare and sat sri akal. Welcome, and keep watching my shows every Monday at 9:40 p.m. and look at the email ID and the telephone, but call the next day, folks. So let's go on to skin food. There are red foods that could be very good. Cosmetics products which have parabens, steer far away. Lots of cosmetics have so many dangerous chemicals with long names, triloxylin, and doctors and give patients so many antibiotics for up to 1 year. Some people will come having had antibiotics for 1 year on a trot. That is seriously damaging for your gut, destroys the whole of the flora bacteria, the whole of the structure, and the colon will start keeping toxins in the body, and then this is all a sort of a circulation, and you're now in a dire system where things are going in, colon is rejecting, coming back to the liver can't deal with it, it's had enough of you, it will throw it back to the blood, and this cycle will carry on day in, day out for your life, and you never get results. So puberty can start from 13 to 18, and then they don't have acne. My lovely mother used to say, Pot, none of you even had any acne. If you had the odd one, there was always fresh carrot juice at home, lots of good fats, lots of homemade ghee. Whatever, young mothers are starving their children and going for crisp and dry issues and trying to make food so crispy to suit the children's tastes, but nothing to chew. I mean, give your children the raw foods. That will be towards the end of the show. Obviously, lack of water is a huge problem because we need to hydrate. If you think that just putting things and lotions and potions on the outside and this is going to cause hydration, and on the contrary, I'm one person who probably washes, because seeing patients throughout the day, I could be washing my hands over 200 times a day, but at never one point have I said that, oh my God, my hands are dry. One, because we only have soft water in our supply. Number two, I only consume distilled water throughout the day. I have mine here today at the studio. I'm looking to the left and I'm dying for a water before just after the break. But in that interim, obviously, we'll be, after the short break, coming on to the layers of the skin, what is happening, what is the foods, what is the nutrition, what is the juicing, and what is the facial mask. Stay tuned into the second half to learn a lot more in My Health Show with Manjeet Kaur after this little short break.